Covering news that matters. Fox 23 News at 6:30 starts right now.
Thanks for joining me at 6:30. I'm Rick Maranon. Oklahoma is preparing for the second Trump administration, and there is a lot of talk about mass deportations and cracking down on illegal immigrants. Only on Fox 23 tonight, I asked Oklahoma Attorney General Gentner Drummond to stop by and speak unedited and in his own words with me about how the state is preparing and how we are going to address what could happen starting in less than 2 months. Joining me today, unedited in his own words, is Oklahoma Attorney General himself, Gentner Drummond. Thanks for joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. What are you advising law enforcement as we prepare for this second Trump administration and what is almost a guarantee of mass deportations?
Well, I think, let's set the predicate. Federal law is unchanged. The Biden administration had the right to do what needed to be done and chose not to philosophically and politically and has paid the cost. In this instance, I can't speak for President Trump, but I know that he is a man of action, and I know that he will enforce the laws as they exist. For example, there are 1.4 million illegal aliens in the United States under deportation orders. Biden administration catch and release philosophy, come back in 18 months, doesn't work. I anticipate that President Trump will direct local, state, and federal law enforcement to round up those 1.4 million and deport them. That'll be the first step.
Does it make it harder? Because we've got 2 more months of Biden before Trump ever takes office. I imagine there's a lot of flying blind or flying in the dark right now.
Oh, I think there is. But I think your listeners can take a lot of solace in knowing that there's a lot of planning happening now. Even this morning, I was in lengthy meetings about this very subject.
What are the discussions? Because, I mean, once these criminals are done with prison, you've got to move on to someone else. Is that right?
Right. No, it's a busy space. And, I know we're going to talk a little bit about Oklahoma's law, 4156, that, as soon as it was enacted, my office and I recognized the problem. For example, since taking office, we have been part of closing down 10,000 illegal marijuana grow facilities in concert with OBN, OSBI, local law enforcement. We would go into a grow facility and arrest the kingpins, right? That's easy. They're violating federal and state law. We can arrest them. The workers, none of whom, or very few of whom, were actually in the United States legally. Now, they have a driver's license, but it says Sinaloa on it, or mainland China. And so we arrest them, we bring them in, we detain them. We would call ICE, and they would say, well, please give them a card and show up at a detention facility within the next 45 days. 2 weeks from now, I'm at a different grow, busting it, same 6 guys that we detained and gave the card to. And so this is just a recurring example. And the purpose of the House Bill 4156 was to give Oklahoma a path through doing what the federal government was refusing to do. I believe with the Trump administration, we'll have a partnership there.
Man, I wanted to ask you about the Chinese and the local ones, but let's start. A lot of people talk about, they talk about South American countries and things. You've been running into Chinese nationals.
Oh, I think that by and large, the larger number in Oklahoma are illegal Chinese nationals that are part of the syndicated crime organization that the Chinese have set up here. And what we have seen, we've been going hard at this for 15 months. And we have shut down over 10,000 grows and arrested hundreds of illegal actors and are prosecuting them. And what we're watching now is the kingpins are leaving the state of Oklahoma. They're going to New Mexico and up to Maine, of all places. So we are being impactful in our space, deploying federal and state law right now. What we still have this problem. And it's the backbone of the illegal marijuana trade. And it's the workers that have been brought in, human traffic, sex traffic from mainland China in Sinaloa coast of Mexico.
So what happens to those workers now? Do you believe ICE will focus on those guys now instead of just the kingpins?
Well, I think that we need to get the 1.4 million under deportation orders arrested and out, and they will be deported appropriately under federal law. And I think what we can anticipate is under the Trump administration, a firm hand on all illegal actors. I think we start that. To the listener that's worried, that this is going to be, reckless and abandoned, no. There are a lot of illegal actors that we will start with. The fruit is low. We need to pick it and get it out of the United States. And then it'll be years before we get through the illegal actors that are here illegally.
What is the status on Oklahoma's law right now, and do you think it's still needed now that Trump is coming in?
Well, I think that we recognize the deficiency. Nobody was enforcing this area, and it's a public safety and a national security issue. So our legislators appropriately responded to our call for stronger immigration laws. They passed it, and coincidentally, within the day that it became effective, the Biden administration sued the state of Oklahoma. So we have the United States versus Oklahoma in this action that is going up through the appellate court. I anticipate that with the Trump administration, that lawsuit will be dismissed.
This is the biggest question I get from folks. There is some fear out there. Do I need to be bringing a passport with me to the grocery store?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
No. So one, racial profiling is against the law in Oklahoma, and if anybody is racially profiled, they elevate it to my office, and I will deal with that severely with law enforcement. Two, if you're carrying a driver's license in the state of Oklahoma, you are a U.S. citizen. You have nothing to fear. There will be no racial profiling. If you're here legally, you have nothing to worry about.
What does the next 2 months look like for you as we wait for Trump to take office? And from what I'm hearing, he may declare a national emergency on night one.
He may very well. I really do think that we're going to continue to do our job, and that is to enforce the laws of Oklahoma by shutting down these illegal grows, and with these illegal aliens in the criminal organizations, we've got fentanyl trafficking, we've got sex and human trafficking. It's a travesty to the state of Oklahoma. I'm 100% committed to catching and detaining these bad actors. And when the Trump administration takes office, I anticipate there will be directive to do more.
One of the biggest concerns I've heard, even out of Tulsa County, is the Biden administration gave bail to a lot of illegal immigrants. I imagine a lot of time is going to be spent looking for those people who never showed up back to court or have scattered to the winds. Is that pretty much going to be the focus once the prisons are cleared out?
Right. I think that the easy fruit is the prisons that they're already detained, then the others that are on deportation orders. They are scattered to the winds, and these are not good people. Now, I have no indictment against any foreign-born person, but we have illegal actors in the state that we must detain, find, arrest, and deport.
Do you feel relief that we are having a change in administration after you have been dealing with this for 4 years?
From the state of Oklahoma perspective, we have rampant illegal immigration in our state. We have many other policy issues that the Biden administration has fought the state of Oklahoma in. Methane rules, oil and gas, EPA overreach. It's been exhausting. We have 17 active lawsuits across the United States right now on issues that are directly affecting Oklahoma. And I think that I am confident that when Trump takes office, these will go away.
Does that mean those laws you want will be implemented once the lawsuit goes away?
Right. The policies that are injuring Oklahoma and Oklahoma industry will be removed.
All right. Oklahoma Attorney General Gentner, Drummond, thank you so much for joining me today. We will be in touch and we'll be watching.
Great.